Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Plunder Patrol deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because we just got some amazing support for this deck and I've included all sorts of spicy tech cards in this build for you guys. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Again, your name, description, every single video, gonna get signed cards in the mail, and even gonna request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Whitebeard. Whitebeard is definitely a 3-of in the build, and this card is one of those powerful cards in the entire deck that during your opponent's turn, quick effects, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your X deck with the same attribute as a monster that your opponent controls or in their graveyard, and if you do, equip this card you control to it, which is an extremely powerful effect to help you get the exact Plunder Patrol monster you want out of your X deck to your side of the field. I love this effect on this card, and it's just so cool that you basically summon out this card to your side of the field and then instantly get the exact ship that you want depending on the attribute your opponent controls. This card also has a really cool ability. If this card is sent from the hand or the monster zone to the graveyard, you can actually activate this effect to special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck except another copy of this card, which is a great ability to summon out the exact card you need to your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Golden Hair. Golden Hair is definitely a 3-of as well in the deck, and this card is amazing because you can send one of their Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face it from field to graveyard to special summon this card from the hand, and if this card's in the graveyard, you can discard a card to special summon this card, making it an amazing extender in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Bluebeard. Bluebeard is really good as a 3-of as well because this card helps us draw cards in the deck. Also, if you control a Plunder Patrol monster, except a copy of Bluebeard, you can actually special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is sent from the hand or the monster zone to the graveyard, you can actually discard a card to draw a card, which just helps us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need. We then play 3 copies of Black Eyes. Black Eyes is one of my favorite cards in the entire deck because this card is just absolutely amazing. This card lets you target a Plunder Patrol monster in the graveyard except another copy of Black Eyes, and then you special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, add that card back to your hand, which is a great ability to instantly get a card back out of your graveyard while also summoning this card out to your side of the field. And if this card is sent from the hand or the monster zone to the graveyard, you can actually target a Plunder Patrol monster card in your spell and trap card zone and special summon it in defense position, which is a great ability to basically bump one of your monsters off the ship and put them back onto your side of the field so you can use them all over again to summon out another ship. We then play 2 copies of Redbeard. I feel like 2 copies is really all you need for Redbeard. Redbeard's really good as a combo piece in the deck, but I feel like 2 is all you need. This card is really good and shares a similar effect to your copy of Whitebeard, that during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your X deck with the same attribute as a monster that your opponent controls or in their graveyard, and if you equip this card to it, which is a great effect. But this also has the really cool ability that if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can actually target a Plunder Patrol monster you control and equip this card to it, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of Dipsy Fiend. This card is amazing as a 3-of in the build, and this card is the actual new support card that we got for this deck. This card is absolutely amazing. This card has the ability to discard 1 card, then you declare an attribute except for water, and then you special summon this card from your hand to either field, then this card becomes that attribute that you declared until the end of the turn. Then, if you special summon this card to your opponent's field, you can special summon a level 4 or lower fiend monster with an original attribute other than the declared one from your hand or your graveyard to your field. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon from the X deck except fiend monsters, which is totally fine, but it's amazing to instantly give your opponent a monster on their side of the field that you can basically turn into any attribute that you want, so you can summon out your copies of your Plunder Patrol monsters and start summoning out the exact ships that you want to your side of the field using this card on your opponent's side of the field, since they will control a monster with the exact attribute that you want, and you really don't want your opponent to have a water monster anyways, because the only monster you can special summon off the effect is your copy of Blackbeard, and we usually want to link summon into that card anyways. You always want it to be something besides water, and this card not letting you declare water is totally fine. It was like this card was made for Plunder Patrol, and it's absolutely amazing for this deck. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's definitely a 3 of as well in the deck, basically just to stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Ghost Mourner. Ghost Mourner is really good as a 3 of, basically just to stop your opponent's monster effects, and it's really good in this build. This card is absolutely fire right now, and just really good at stopping your opponent. We then play 3 copies of Droll. Droll is also really good as a 3 of in the deck to basically stop your opponent from searching the deck for the rest of the turn. And then we play 2 copies of Nib because we can easily out a Nib token in this deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with 3 copies of Plunder Patroll Shipyard. This card is definitely a 3 of in the deck, and I absolutely love Shipyard. This card has the ability of Plunder Patrol monsters you control gain a 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone. Basically, for every one of your Plunder Patrol monsters on board ship, they gain 500 attack points, which is a really cool effect. This card also has the effect that you can use one of the 2 effects of this card, that you can discard a card to add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, except for the copy of Shipyard. Or, if this card's in the graveyard, you can target a Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone, set this card, and if you do, return that card back to the hand, which is a pretty cool effect. We then played 3 copies of Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires is just really good in this deck, so everything we want, we play at 3. So this card just helps us dig into the deck for the exact cards that we need, and it's just extremely helpful in this build. We then also play 3 copies of Forbidden Droplets. Droplets is just really good overall, because we want our cards in the graveyard, and this card is amazing to help you basically turn your opponent's field off, and so we can go in for game. But again, cards like our Whitebeard and stuff like that, we want to be able to get into the graveyard, and we can even recover cards like Golden Hair, and with Black Eye, we can also recover cards. So this card is just really good in the deck overall, just turning the opponent's field off, and just a fantastic card in this build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start with a single copy of Plunder Patrol Booty. Booty is really good as a 1-of in the deck. I really like this card overall, as it actually lets you declare an attribute and then target one face-up monster that your opponent controls, and it becomes that attribute until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Then you can actually take a Plunder Patrol monster from your graveyard and either shuffle it in the deck or special summon it, which is a great ability for this continuous trap to be able to do, to basically change the attribute of a monster so that you can go in for the exact ship that you want. This card is amazing as well, because once per turn during the end phase, if you control no Plunder Patrol monster, you have to send this card to the graveyard, but you're always going to control a Plunder Patrol monster, but it is a fact that you want to watch out for. We then also play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, basically just to stop our opponent's monster effects and lock down entire columns of spells and traps. I figured with this build, I wanted to go for more of a hand trap lineup instead of using the Adventure Engine in this particular build, but the Adventure Engine is really powerful overall in this deck, but I'm really liking playing hand traps over the Adventure Engine in this deck, especially with cards like Dipsy Fiend in this build. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Blackbeard. Blackbeard is one of the most important cards in the entire extra deck, which is why we're playing 3 copies of this card. This card is great for this deck because it has the ability, quick effect, you can actually target an effect monster you control and then special summon, which it has the ability, you can actually special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. And if you do, equip the targeted monster to it and then draw a card, which is a great ability to help you summon out the exact ship that you want, especially with Dipsy Fiend in this deck, letting you get the exact attribute that you want on the opponent's side of the field. We then played 2 copies of Lice. Lice is just really good and probably the best ship in the entire deck. Is this card has the ability, during the main phase, quick effect, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or from your spell and trap card zone. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can discard a Plunder Patrol card to negate the activation if you do destroy it. And if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability. We then play 2 copies of Brawn. Brawn is actually one of my favorite in the entire extract. Its card is the ability of all the fiend monsters that you control go up by 500 attack points. You can also discard a Plunder Patrol card to target a spell or trap your opponent controls and banish it. Then you can add a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your hand, and this is a quick effect if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, which is a really cool effect. We then play 2 copies of Yord. Yord is really good as a 2/0 because this card helps you generate tokens, and it's just an awesome combo piece overall. I consider playing this card just at 1 in this build, but you can play 2 in the deck to basically just make sure you have one, just in case one gets banished for some reason, but it's still really good overall in the build. We then played 2 copies of Moark. Moark is amazing. Moark is actually one of the best ones beside Lice, because this card has the ability that you can discard a Plunder Patrol card, target effect monster your opponent controls, and banish him, and then add a Plunder Patrol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And it's a quick effect if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, which is a really cool ability. And if a Plunder Patrol card you control would be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can detach from this card instead, giving you a little bit of protection as well, which is absolutely amazing. We then play a single copy of Typhon. Typhon is really good overall in the deck to basically just summon in any situation. This card is amazing overall in this particular build, and is a great card to be able to play in just about any deck. We then play a single copy of Necroquip Princess. Necroquip Princess is super easy to summon. It is a great support card for Plunder as well, because this card is so easy to summon out to your side of the field in this deck. Play a single copy of SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight is amazing because it's just one of the best cards in the entire game right now. It's a double interruption. If you don't have this card, you can change it out for another card like a copy of Zeus if you want to, or even a Nightmare Phoenix to be able to pop spells and traps, which is another budget option for you guys. And then finally play a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is just really good to be able to summon out your copy of Golden Hair and link it away for your copy of Alamirage. Discard a card, bring back your copy of your Golden Hair, and then go in for a copy of Blackbeard, which is just really easy to be able to do in this deck and a really cool play. So that's going to do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely tell me what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. It's super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Plunder before, you should definitely give this deck a try. It's amazing now that we have Dipsy Fiend to basically hand our opponent a monster and make it any attribute that we want, so we can summon out the exact ship that we want, and I really, really love that about this deck. So that's going to do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.